Hi everyone, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie. Welcome to my Christmas series. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you click that button. So today's video is in collaboration with the you're fabulous and so sweet Jackie from Blessed Beyond Measure. We both did a collaboration a few videos ago and we're shocked at the input we got from you guys wanting us to do it again. I don't think either of us have ever had that many comments asking us to do another collab with a particular channel. So we listened, we heard you, and we're here today banging out some more Christmas DIYs from everyday boring Dollar Tree items. For those of you that don't live by a good Dollar Tree that has a lot of crafting selection. This video, I did part one, was a big hit. You guys came down to the comment section and asked me to do another one, so here it is. And of course, I hope you enjoy the show. For this first craft, I'm using the Farmer's Market calendar and some poster board. So you can use any image you want. You can print it up from online. You can use another calendar image. And this is a piece of round foam that my sister pulled out of her trunk of her car and asked me, "Can you do anything with this for your channel?" I went, "Yeah," I'm going, "Yeah, sure." Give it to me. So today we're doing something with that round foam. But if you don't have foam, just cut about 3 rounds of whatever size you want in cardboard. You just want this to be thick and sturdy. And when you glue your foam board down to it, prevents it from curling if it's got a nice brace in the back. So you can see here that I went ahead and I traced my circle using the foam board, and now I'm cutting them in little separate little panels, but I am cutting out little sections in between. So don't forget that little groove. You need those in between each one of the panels there. And you guys can probably guess what I'm going to do here. This is a palette sign. I love palette signs, you guys, for farmhouse decor. I think they are so cute. And of course, I'm going to go with December's calendar page, which is that little Christmas tree farm cutout. And I'm going to go ahead and take that now and lay it on top of my loose pieces. They're not matted down or glued on anything just yet. And I'm going to approximately draw a line where the grooves are going to be, because each one of those little sections of the calendar page are going to be glued down on each panel. Next, I'm taking those pieces and I'm going to glue them down onto the foam board. And remember, if you don't have the foam, you're just, you've taken and made a big circle out of preferably at least 3 pieces of cardboard there to make that nice firm brace in the back, so you don't have to worry about any curling issues. And of course, you guys, I tried a hot glue gun at first and it melted the styrofoam. I kind of knew it would, but I was hoping against all odds. So I'm going with regular old school glue here and to glue it down. And it's remarkable, actually, by the time I'm done gluing this down, it dries good enough for me to move on to the next step. So now I'm using some joint compound. Now a bunch of people came on my videos and said that polyfilla is also in Australia, it's in Canada, Belgium. I actually lost track of all the countries. So if you recognize that name, yours is polyfilla. Now polyfilla is equivalent to our spackling. Spackling is a little thicker than joint compound. I believe they put oil in joint compound, so it takes a little longer to dry. But the goal here is to brush it on so you're getting those little streaks, because that's what's going to imitate the wood grain. If you are working with spackling or polyfilla, go ahead and add a little bit of water just to make it more workable so that it's not so thick and you have time to spread it and work with it. And it goes a little farther. You wait for that to dry, or you can blow dry it with a blow dryer. I blow dried mine. I think it took maybe 7 minutes and the whole thing was bone dry. And then I'm cutting out that image, the calendar page. And of course, I love to tear the edges because I think when you're all done, it kind of helps it blend and disappear into the surface a little bit better than if you just leave it square and glue it on. You've got that real harsh edge that's hard to hide. You can burn it with a lighter. Someone suggested that, but I have done that before and it torched and I took too much off and I took some of the actual print that I wanted to preserve. So you could try it, just get ready to blow really hard. Now I'm taking some of the pewter gray from Apple Barrel paint and I'm just dry brushing it on really softly because that also is going to help it blend in and kind of mute it. You can see it, it looks beautiful and it just becomes part of that image. And this is actually so pretty in real life. I really hope the camera does it justice. And I'm taking the Dollar Tree little jute twine. It's not the brown one. This is one I love for Christmas or any kind of nautical ocean type decor. It's perfect for that. And because I managed to glue this image down without any wrinkles, lumps, or bumps, I did not want to risk putting Mod Podge on it in case that happened, because sometimes Mod Podge does cause that. So I opted to do 2 coats of a clear varnish spray in matte. And I am so sorry, I lost the footage where I take a little bit of burnt umber paint. It's just a dark brown paint and I paint inside the grooves there to make sure that they pop, but you will see it at the end when it comes up. But I think this craft came out so good. It looks so real in real life. It looks just like wood. For this next DIY, you're going to need one of these little flower, they call them a funeral cup, I think, and these cake pans. But I have seen those little flower cups used for weddings as well. So you just stab them in the ground and they hold flowers. And you're going to take that little pokey stab thing and just cut it off. It came off super, super easy, as you could see. And then I'm just sanding it here a little bit, not with super rough sandpaper. And again, it sands down real easy just to make the surface flat. And we're going to be making a 2-tiered Christmas tray. I just thought this center, when I saw it, I knew immediately that this would make such a cute faux wood center for a tiered tray. So that's what we're doing. And both these things, I believe, are everyday Dollar Tree items. Pretty much, I think, at every Dollar Tree, I hope. I mean, I shouldn't say every, because there's probably one hole-in-the-wall Dollar Tree that doesn't have this, but I go to like 6 different Dollar Trees within my vicinity in either direction, and they all have these. And anyways, I'm just taking some really strong super glue adhesive gel type glue and gluing it down because I want this to stay. And I'm using a little bit of hot glue here to make sure it gets a hold immediately to help tack it down. And also, I wanted to tell you guys now, Jackie and I are actually using the same identical 4 Dollar Tree items, so there's going to be a total of 8 ideas to do with these items when you watch both videos. And I am so excited, you guys. I can't wait to see what she did with the same 4 items. What I'm doing here is I've just been making sure that it's got a nice smooth surface and it's dry enough to take it out and spray paint it. Now, after I spray painted it, I just didn't like it. It looked too much like a factory application. It was too smooth. I needed those lines in there because I want this to look like it's got a little bit of wood grain. You know, I'm going for that rustic farmhouse look. So I go ahead and give it a second coat of the Kilz primer, K-I-L-Z. And now I'm going to use some red and do some candy cane little stripes in the center here. So this tray would be perfect, of course, for anywhere in the home, but it would make a super excellent hot cocoa tiered tray to hold all your little goodies. When I had kids, I used to do the hot cocoa bar. My husband and I are kind of just sticking with coffee because we're trying to avoid the heavy sugar. We're trying to be healthier, you guys, and that was a tough mountain to climb. So if I start eating sugar again, I'm going to be like swimming in it. Anyway, I just pretty much use this which is my 3-ingredient coffee bar here, you guys. That's actually raw cocoa bean in the center, and it's grinded up, totally high in antioxidants, and it tastes exactly like cocoa powder. And then there's pure peppermint extract to the right and cinnamon to the left. And if you mix that cocoa powder in with the peppermint with a little bit of coconut sugar, it tastes identical to those chocolate mint unhealthy mixes that you buy at the grocery store, you guys, and it is loaded with health benefits. So I just wanted to throw that out there because it's worth trying. It is so good. It's my morning drink every morning. I love it. So I'm just taking a little bit of the red paint there. You saw what I did. I made the edge look like faux enamel, and now I'm going to dry brush some white paint over the center so it looks more distressed, you know, more like wood. And this is going to be on my kitchen counter. It's next to the canister that I made last week that I also did the red enamel on, and it said Christmas Tree Farm because they're very complementary to each other. They're going to look so cute. They're sitting on top of a wooden breadboard, and I'm going to put my 3 ingredients in a pretty container at the bottom and then put holiday decor on the top, and I love the way this came out so much. I saw these 3 vases online about a month ago, and I fell in love. In fact, they're sold out. When I looked for the picture, I noticed it said sold out. I think they were originally from Walmart, but I've had these pink vases for a while now, since Valentine's Day, I think. And I finally figured out what I was going to do with them. I took them outside, gave them some spray paint, and it wasn't a gloss. And I didn't realize that when I was spray painting it, and I didn't like that. So I went ahead and took my matte, it's the Kills primer again, and painted a coat of it over just to make it look nice and, you know, matte. You don't want it, I didn't want it shiny. Maybe you guys do, but I didn't, because I think that was part of the peaceful look in that photo there, was that they were really matte. And here is some little wreaths that I tried to copy the look of. Those are going to be free printables down below my video in the description box. If you click that link, it will take you to them. And now I'm just using pencil. Now I opted not to use a carbon paper because sometimes when you're pressing, it can leave some ink and stain behind in places you don't want it to go to. So you could see I was staying very carefully on the design with the pencil to make sure, well, I was trying to avoid that. And I knew that by the time I traced all those little leaves, yes I did, I could have, I guess, Mod Podged that image on, but I really wanted it to look like it was painted on. I think that looks, you know, up close anyway, a little bit better with this kind of craft because it has that bend. It shows the edges of the paper a little more than a tray would, or like a piece of wood if you were making a photo. Anyway, it was fun, very relaxing, and I ended up opting to use colored pencils because I wanted that soft. I knew I couldn't get it exactly like that photo because that's like a factory print, but the closest I could think of was the colored pencils. I've spoken about this before. I use Prism, and the link below to the ones I use is again in my description box if you want to check it out and see, you know, the ones I use. But they're like almost oily, and they imitate ink really, really well. And so I just took my time, and here's what we end up with. And I think this came up so, so cute. So the next step was to get that top decor on. After after I do the pencil, I do take them outside in the backyard and do 2 coats of a clear varnish on, and I just let them dry while I was having my chocolate mint coffee. But anyway, I bring them back in and I look at the photo and I notice it does have a piece of twine tied around the top there. So I wanted to create a surface that would be better for gluing all these heavy things on, the pine cones and berries. So I ended up tying a bow, double tying it and then triple tying it, and then cutting all of the loops off. So I just had a spray of this twine, and then this is what I glue the pine cones and the berries to, and the little faux pine there, and it worked perfectly. So I absolutely love the way these came out, you guys. I have these in my farmhouse hutch in my living room, and I just think they are so beautiful. For this craft, you're going to need those cookie sheets from the Dollar Tree, 2 of them, and a printout of a reindeer. Now, here's what I did. I opened it with paint, the image. You're going to see me do that. And I was recording it, you guys, and then I realized the program in my computer wasn't recording the drop-down menus, which is critical for you to see. So I actually had to take my camera out and film it. So sorry about that, but it's better than nothing. You go to print, page setup, and then you get this. And you're going to change it to portrait. And then you're going to go down to the part that says scaling and make it a 2x2. And also at the top there where you see it says margins, you can change that down to 0, 0, and that'll get his little feet in there as well. After you click OK, you'll end up back on this page. That's okay, just go back to print. And then this time hit print preview, and there you have your 2 reindeer that will print up on 2 sheets. Now you can play with that if you want, you guys, and you can make them huge or small. You can do as many pages as you want. You can make a huge reindeer, but we're just going with this size so he fits on my little cookie sheets. And the first thing I do is I cut him out. I'm going to go ahead and check to make sure he fits. And then I'm going to cut the edges off of the 2 pans. I am working with the 2 pans here, not 1. You'll need 2 for this craft. They come in a set of 2 from the Dollar Tree. And in England, maybe you guys call them aluminium cookie sheets. I'm not sure. But what my little trick is, I do is as I'm cutting, I bend it away right when my hand gets near it so I don't get cut. So make sure you're really careful, go slow, take your time. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take some masking tape or any kind of tape that you have that's thick like this, and you're going to tape up the edges to hold the 2 pans in place. After you do this, you will be putting down the image of the reindeer, and you will be taping him down really good as well. And now you're going to see me put on some fuzzy gloves. These are just gloves from the 99-cent only store. They're not any special kind of high utility gloves, and they worked fine. Anytime the edges hit them, it didn't go through, so that's all you need. But we do kind of go around some rough bends here where you can't bend things back without damaging your craft. So you're going to want to wear something on your hands so that you don't get cut. And I'm just going to go ahead now and cut the reindeer out. Once you get to that point and you're done, just straighten him out a little bit there. That was all I was doing, is his little antlers needed a little bit of straightening, but this is what you end up with. And of course, carefully remove any remnant tape that you have left stuck on the edges there. I use these little tweezers. They're great for crafting if you have another little sharp tool, but just be very, very gentle, because at this point the foil is really prone to tearing accidentally because we haven't sturdied it up yet. So go slow and be careful. The next thing you're going to do is look for any little tiny pieces of metal, like that one right there that's left on the edge. This attention to detail really makes a difference, you guys, for making crafts look high end and store-bought. It doesn't, I love homemade looking stuff, but sometimes homemade looking stuff you find at the stores and they're made to look homemade. I don't know if that makes sense, but you still want to pay attention to that detail, because it does kind of create, a better final result. The next thing you're going to do is use the smallest craft sticks they sell at the Dollar Tree and some of their skewers for gluing on the inside of this reindeer. So this is going to be on the inside body, what you see right now, and I'm creating weight and I'm creating a brace so that the pan isn't bendy anymore and flimsy. It's going to be really super tough, unbendable, and thick looking when we're done. Now comes the gluing down part. Now you want to start with the antlers and do not a generous amount of hot glue, but enough to cover the wood, and you're going to be pressing it down. Now the metal does conduct heat, so I am kind of burning my fingers here, but when I'm into my craft, I don't care. If that's an issue for you, feel free to use that little silicone spatula that I use that I found at the Dollar Tree. That's a great tool for pressing it down, or you could press it with a cloth or the edge of your shirt, but be careful because it does get hot. And you're just going to go ahead and glue the whole thing down. Now you can see here where there's those open seams at the top near the antlers. The rest of the seams I was able to pinch closed, but at the top, because those are round, the skewers, I put a little hot glue to fill in those seams, and it worked perfectly. So just do that, and this is what you end up with. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my pewter gray from Apple Barrel and sponge some on here to kind of tone it down and make it look more like an aged metal piece. And that's what we have when we're done with that. And of course, you guys, I'm going to use my favorite color for rusting, the Nutmeg by Apple Barrel. And I'm going to go ahead and rust this little guy all around the edges and also give him a nice little frame. I think that looks, the border, I just think that makes him pop more and it looks really, really good. So you don't have to do this if you don't want to, this part, but I just thought it looks really, really good. Next comes the embellishment part, and you're going to see what I use, just some pine cones, berries, burlap. It comes up really beautiful, the combination. I do use a dowel to hold this little guy up, and where I messed up is I should have put the dowel in as part of what filled his body up before I glued the other side down. I still, did it. As you can see, it works just fine. I saved the day, but obviously that wasn't good, so make sure you do that ahead of time. And I'm using a terracotta pot from the Dollar Tree, a pool noodle for the foam, and decorating it. And that's it. I don't have a favorite today, you guys. I absolutely love all of these DIYs. This little reindeer went up the same day on my mantle. If you enjoyed today's video and had fun, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, share this video, comment. It really does help my channel grow. And as always, you guys, until the next video, breathe deep, fret not, and do things that make you happy.